Thank you for joining us. My name is Judy Peterson, and I will be guiding you through our online CAP system. Today we will create and issue a certificate when no commitment was issued. First, we will log into the system using the resource desk. Today I'm logging in as Mary Ann Test, the staff person working under Attorney Jane Test. When logging in, I will click on Search for or Issue a Commitment or Certificate. The transaction search screen provides a number of ways to search for an existing transaction. Today we will create a new transaction. The CAP program is transaction-based. To create the transaction, answer the questions, and fill in the necessary information. First, we will verify that Attorney Jane Test will be the participant who will sign this certificate. We are creating a residential purchase transaction. As you can see, you'll be directed to the Iowa Title Guarantee Commercial Department for issuance of commercial unimproved land or wetlands properties. We'll rely on information which has been provided by the lender and also found on the preliminary and final title opinions or on the Forms 900 and 901 in the case of a refinance. First, we'll select Certificate with Lender First Mortgage Coverage and enter the mortgage amount. If you're creating a certificate covering a standalone junior mortgage, you'll select Lender Junior Mortgage Coverage and then follow these steps accordingly. The names of the borrowers are entered exactly as they're shown on the mortgage, one in the first field and all other borrowers in the second field. The names of the title holders are entered in the title holders field exactly as they appeared on the deed. We don't add marital status or tenancy to the fields on this screen. After clicking on Create Transaction, you'll land on the Transaction Details screen. The transaction has been assigned a unique 9-digit number. The first 2 digits are the year the transaction was created. Across the top of this screen is a banner which will remain as you're working through the transaction screens. This banner includes a place where you can enter your file number if you use one to manage your files. In the system, any fields that are designated with a red asterisk are required fields. On the left side of this screen, you'll see a list of the transaction screens which must be completed before the certificate can be issued. Each of these is designated with a red X. When a screen has been completed, the X will change to a green check mark. We'll begin by completing the property screen. Enter the house number in the first field, then the rest of the street name in the next field. The unit number or condo number is entered in the secondary number field if that's part of the address. Type and then select your city from the drop-down list. It defaults to Iowa as the state, and enter the zip code. Select the county from the list here on the side. And then type the legal description exactly as it appeared in the abstract. If your legal description contains a specific number of acres, you're going to click on this blue disclaimer to add that disclaimer, which will appear after your legal description. And that just assures the lender that no one from your office or our office went out and did a survey, so we're not going to guarantee that exact number of acres. We have a Save Changes button at the bottom and at the top of each of these screens. It doesn't matter which one you use. And as long as all the fields are filled in, you'll get a successfully saved message. If you forget something and you save changes, your screen doesn't change to green, and you can click on what's incomplete to find out what you're missing. And this provides a list of all of the fields that need to be completed before this certificate can be issued. We haven't gotten to those other screens yet, so we only care about this one, and it's letting us know we need to add the zip back in. So now once all the fields are completed and you save changes, the message lets you know that you can move on to the next screen, and the property screen is now designated with a green check mark. Next, we'll work on the general information screen. Verify the type of transaction, which is a purchase. This can be changed if necessary. Select your abstractor from the list. These are all the abstractors that are eligible to provide abstracting service in the property of your county. Users who are not logged in as an attorney or attorney staff will type and then select the name of the attorney from this drop-down list, like that. The names of the borrowers and buyers have pulled in and the title holders, and now we'll select whether each is an individual or an entity. So for real persons, select individual. If it's not a person, you'll select legal entity, so I'll show you how that works here. If you select legal entity, you'll also need to select what type of entity, and those answers will help to fill Schedule B. So we'll switch this back to individual. Next, you'll select the tenancy of those title holders. So you have several choices. If they hold title as joint tenants with full rights of survivorship and not as tenants in common, you'll select that one. Or as tenants in common, select that one. If it's not known the tenancy of multiple title holders, you can select the unknown button, and then this phrase will follow their names on the Schedule A. If you have only one title holder, you'll select other, or you can also select other and type in a tenancy phrase if it doesn't meet one of these others. So I'm going to say our title holders are joint tenants. We have a mail to or contact information section here that's optional. So you can complete that if that's what you do in your office. If you want a mailing sheet to print with your certificate, you'll want to click this box and fill in the information. And now I'm going to save changes. Once all those fields are filled in correctly, we'll get the green check mark and we can move on to the coverage screen. Type the loan number if you know it. The coverage amount pulls in. On our system, anything where there's a black flag will indicate an underwriter might need to get involved. So if you just hover over the flag, it gives you the message. And in this case, it tells you if the coverage amount is over a certain dollar amount, an underwriter will need to approve the certificate. The type of sale defaults to fee simple, but other options are available. You'll select your lender from our drop-down list, and the system saves a short list of lenders as you work in the system. If the lender you're using on this transaction isn't showing up on your short list, you're going to click on View All, and then type the name, and then you can select that lender from the drop-down list. The guaranteed lender will always be the same as the originating, so you're going to check if same as originating. And then there's a field here, name of guaranteed, to appear on Schedule A. We've added its successors and/or assigns. This field is editable in case your lender wants their name to be tweaked in some way. For example, add the zip code, add the street address, or even remove the city and state from the display, and that's fine. The only exception to this guaranteed lender being the same as the originating is if you have a transaction where MERS is the nominee. So in that case, you're going to select Mortgage Electronic Registration Systems as your guaranteed lender. And I have them on my short list. And then you'll click the box, check if guaranteed lender is a nominee. And then that changes the text here in this name of guaranteed to appear field. If the mortgage has been assigned and the lender wants the assignment to be covered by the certificate, the use of the assignment endorsement will be required. So more information about endorsements will come later. Next, we're going to enter the certification date and time. You can use the actual date and time of the certification, or our underwriters prefer that we only certify through the filing of the mortgage. In that case, you're going to use the filing date and the time of filing. Or if the time is not known, enter the end of the filing day, such as 5 p.m. So I'm going to enter the filing date and time. And then we're going to type in the mortgage signing date, which is the date of the mortgage. And again, the filing date. Then click here for default text, which creates the mortgage paragraph for you. The blank line here is for the book and page or document number. Make sure you verify the marital status as it was shown on the mortgage. Our system sees two borrowers and assumes they're husband and wife, so you may need to change this, the marital status designation. And then save changes. Once all fields have been completed, you'll get that successfully saved message, and the coverage screen will be designated with a green check mark, and we can move on to the endorsements. The endorsements available for this coverage are listed with the most commonly requested first in bold type and then the rest in alphabetical order. The fee due for that endorsement, if there is one, is shown. Each endorsement is also includes a question mark there. You can click on that if you have questions about the endorsement. Endorsements which appear with a black flag indicate that an underwriter will need to approve that endorsement. So let's take a look at this encroachment endorsement. This gives you a brief overview of the endorsement. It tells you how to fill in the variables if they're necessary, any underwriting requirements, and the actual text of the endorsement. So this is helpful if you are asked to provide an endorsement that you're not familiar with. You'll select the endorsements you need. And save changes. And once you've saved them, they appear up here in the selected list. Any endorsements which need edits will appear with a red X, and then you'll click on the word edit to fill in that information. If you selected an endorsement by mistake, you click on the trash can, which will remove it from your selected list. For detailed instructions on various endorsements, please see the webinar titled Overview of Endorsements. Once the endorsements have been saved, this screen is marked with a green check mark, and we can move on to Schedule B. Schedule B Part 1 contains exceptions which are superior to the mortgage being insured, and Part 2 contains exceptions which are inferior to the insured mortgage. Schedule B has pre-fill based on information already entered. The additional Schedule B options are available if you need help with the wording of an exception, and those have been sorted as to the section in which each will appear. Text which appears inside a box can be edited. Some of the paragraphs can be removed by clicking on the trash can. The order in which each paragraph appears can be changed by using the up and down arrows. Additional editable paragraphs can be added by clicking on the blue plus sign at the beginning of each section. For detailed instructions on the completion of Schedule B, please see the webinar titled Certificate Schedule B. So once Schedule B has been completed, you can save changes. And now all of our screens are marked as green, and we're ready to review this certificate. So go to the Certificate Overview screen. This provides a brief overview of this certificate. The status is pending, and our action steps are here across the top. Issue, cancel, preview, and we only have one document to preview here. You can send the certificate to underwriting status if you have a legal question for one of our underwriters. And in order to do that, you click on OK. You'll be asked to add a note explaining what your question is, and the underwriter will get back to you with an answer. In the same way, if you want our audit team to review your work, or if you have a question like, did I word this exception properly, that would be a good thing for our auditors. So in the same way, you'll click on Send to Audit, you'll write in your question on what you need, and then we will review your work. If you need to add another coverage, you can click on Add Certificate and choose one of the other coverages that you need. I'm going to go ahead and issue this certificate, although we strongly recommend that you preview the certificate before you issue it. And when you preview, it's got a draft watermark on it, and you can review your work that way. Okay, so the certificate is issued, and now to view the issued certificate, we'll go to the Archives and Snapshot screen. This screen is divided into active and archived documents. The most current version of each document is listed in the active section. So to view or print an individual certificate or transaction statement, you can click on the name. If you want to print multiples, you can click the box and then click on Download Selected. The documents selected you can either save or open them this way, and then they are created as a zip file, and you can send them on to the lender that way. Any changes that are needed to the issued certificate can be made by clicking on Amend. This opens up all of the screens to make any of the changes you need. You'll be asked to go into the coverage screen and review and save it again, as well as the Schedule B. So let's just save this. Let's say our change is we got the mortgage amount wrong. It was $192,900. So I'll just make that change there, and also in the coverage field. Save my changes. Now all the screens are green again. I can go back to the overview screen to review, preview it, and then issue it again and send it on to the lender. And now when I go to the Archives and Snapshot screen, the prior version of the documents are here in the Archive section. The newest version are here in the Active section.